People always ask me one question: how can I change my life? They think there's a secret formula, a shortcut, or a hidden door only successful people know. But let me tell you something. Success doesn't come from luck or from waiting for the right time. It comes from the small, boring, invisible things you do every single day. If you want a different life, start by changing your daily routine. Not tomorrow, not next week. Start today. The next 21 days can change everything, but only if you truly commit. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to teach your mind a new language, the language of discipline, focus, and consistency. Most people fail because they want results on day one. They plant the seed and expect the fruit the same day. But the truth is, you must first water the seed, protect it, and have faith that it will grow. Every habit you build, every hour you invest, is a seed planted in the soil of your future. The first 7 days will be the hardest. Your body will resist. Your mind will make excuses. You will feel tired, unmotivated, and even a little lost. But remember, this is not weakness. This is transformation. Growth is always uncomfortable. When you feel like quitting, it means you are touching the edge of your limits. And that's exactly where you need to be. Don't stop there. Push one more step. That step is the one that separates dreamers from doers. In the second week, something magical begins to happen. The noise inside your head starts to quiet down. You begin to feel a small spark, confidence. You start believing that maybe, just maybe, you can do it. You start noticing how your focus sharpens, how your energy shifts, how your perspective widens. It's not that life suddenly becomes easy. It's that you become stronger. You begin to control your time instead of being controlled by it. You start saying no to distractions and yes to growth. By the third week, the world around you starts to notice. People will ask, what happened to you? They'll see the glow in your eyes, the calm in your words, and the purpose in your actions. But they won't understand the silent battles you fought in your mind. The mornings you woke up when you didn't want to, the hours you worked when no one was watching, the moments you believed in yourself when nobody else did. That's what makes real success. Not the applause, not the praise, but the quiet victories when only you know how hard it was to keep going. In these 21 days, don't try to change everything. Choose 3 things: one for your body, one for your mind, and one for your dreams. Maybe it's waking up 1 hour earlier. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes a day. Maybe it's setting one clear goal for your business or career. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. Do it no matter how you feel. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to do it. That's how you train your future self to win. And don't forget, failure is part of the process. You might fall once, twice, even 10 times. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get up one more time than you fall. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every setback hides a blessing. When you fall, don't waste time asking, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? That question alone can turn pain into power. If you want to know what your life will look like in the next 5 years, look at what you are doing today. Every small action, every small choice builds the foundation of your future. Don't underestimate the power of 21 days. Because if you can control your next 21 days, you can control your habits. And if you can control your habits, you can control your destiny. So don't wait for motivation. It's not coming. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Build your life around discipline, not emotion. You don't need to be the smartest, the richest, or the luckiest. You just need to be the one who doesn't give up when everyone else does. Success begins with small, consistent daily actions. Most people think success is a single big event, a lucky opportunity, or a dramatic breakthrough that suddenly changes everything. But the truth is, real success is built quietly, slowly, and patiently through the things you do every day when nobody is watching. Every decision you make, every habit you practice, every thought you entertain is like a small brick in the wall of your future. You don't need to do something huge today. You just need to take one small step in the right direction and repeat it tomorrow. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It's the ability to show up daily and keep doing what matters, even when it feels boring, unexciting, or invisible. Think about it. A farmer doesn't plant seeds today and expect a harvest tomorrow. They wake up every morning, water the soil, remove the weeds, and trust the process. That's how growth happens. Your life works the same way. Every small action you take, no matter how insignificant it seems, adds up over time. When you exercise for 20 minutes, read a few pages, save a small amount, or practice one skill, you are making an investment that compounds with time. Consistency turns effort into progress, and progress into mastery. The most powerful people in the world aren't those who work hard for one day. They are the ones who work with focus and discipline every day for years. The challenge is that small actions rarely give instant results. We live in a world obsessed with speed. Everyone wants fast success, fast money, fast recognition. But lasting success doesn't work that way. It's built slowly and silently. When you start doing the right things every day, you might not see results in a week or even a month. That's where most people give up. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But what they fail to see is that success grows beneath the surface long before it shows above it. Like roots developing before a tree breaks the ground, your small, consistent actions are preparing you for visible results later. You must learn to fall in love with the process. Every great achievement is the result of ordinary things done extraordinarily well, repeated again and again. If you want to get fit, it's not about one perfect workout. It's about showing up to exercise regularly. If you want to grow your mind, it's not about one book. It's about reading and learning every day. If you want financial freedom, it's not about one big investment. It's about managing your money wisely, consistently. The pattern is the same in every area of life. Success is not created in a moment of inspiration. It's created in the small, sometimes boring moments of discipline. The key is to build systems, not rely on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It fades when things get difficult or repetitive. Systems make action automatic. Create habits that make doing the right thing easier than doing nothing. Put your workout clothes out the night before. Keep a book by your bed. Plan your day before it starts. Reduce the need for willpower by designing your environment to support your goals. When your habits are aligned with your vision, you don't have to fight yourself every day. You simply follow the rhythm of consistency. Another important thing to remember is that consistency builds trust, not only with others, but with yourself. When you keep promises to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your confidence and integrity. Each time you show up, even when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. That belief becomes the foundation of self-discipline. People who trust themselves are unstoppable because they no longer depend on external validation or constant motivation. They know that even if the world is silent, their daily effort is speaking louder than words. You will face days when nothing seems to work. You will question whether your actions matter. You might feel like quitting because results are invisible, but that's when you must remember that consistency always pays off, just not immediately. The universe rewards persistence. Every small action today is a message to your future that says, I'm ready. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act consistently, patiently, and intentionally. The small things you do every day might not make headlines, but they shape your destiny quietly. It's not the intensity of your effort that changes your life. It's the consistency of your effort. One good day won't make you successful, but one consistent habit will. The people what you sin. Reach the top are not the ones who did something extraordinary once. They are the ones who did ordinary things for an extraordinarily long time without giving up. The first 7 days test your discipline and willpower. Whenever you start something new, whether it's a habit, a goal, or a dream, the beginning always feels the hardest. Your mind and body resist change because they are comfortable with the familiar. The first 7 days are not about results. They are about building mental strength. It's the stage where excitement meets reality, where motivation starts to fade and discipline must take over. During this period, your old habits will try to pull you back, whispering that it's easier to stay the same, easier to postpone effort, easier to quit. But if you can survive these 7 days, you start building a foundation that can carry you toward transformation. In the beginning, enthusiasm pushes you forward. You feel inspired, you imagine the rewards, and everything feels possible. But that feeling is temporary. Soon your mind begins to notice the effort. Waking up early feels tiring. Exercising feels painful. Studying feels boring. Changing your habits feels uncomfortable. This discomfort is not a sign that you are weak. It's proof that you are stepping into a new version of yourself. The mind hates uncertainty and the body resists new routines. That's why the first week matters the most. It's when you are breaking the cycle of comfort and teaching your brain a new pattern. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you are rewiring your mind for success. Discipline is built when you act despite resistance. It's not about feeling ready or inspired. It's about doing what you promised yourself you would do. When you start a new habit, the brain looks for familiar comfort zones. It wants to protect you from discomfort because it sees effort as a threat. That's what Hi, the first 7 days feel like a mental battle. But if you win this battle, you gain control over your mind instead of being controlled by it. Every morning you wake up and stick to your plan. You send a message to your subconscious that you are serious, that you are stronger than your excuses, that you are in charge. Willpower is like a muscle. It grows when you use it. The first week is your training ground. Every small victory, every time you resist temptation, you strengthen your mental endurance. When you say no to procrastination, no to laziness, no to distractions, you are saying yes to your future. The more you exercise your willpower, the easier it becomes to make the right choice. People who achieve greatness don't have superhuman motivation. They have trained their willpower to act even when they don't feel like it. The first 7 days are where this training begins. It's not glamorous and it's not easy, but it's where real progress starts to take shape. During this phase, you will notice how your mind tries to negotiate with you. It will tell you it's okay to skip one day or you deserve a break. These are the voices that destroy progress. You must learn to silence them by taking immediate action. When you act before your mind can argue, you break the habit of hesitation. The moment you delay, your brain finds reasons to quit. So don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one when you don't feel like doing it, but do it anyway. Those are the moments that define your character and set you apart from the crowd. The first 7 days also test your patience. You might not see any visible improvement yet. You might look at your effort and wonder if it's working. But transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens beneath the surface. Just because you don't see results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Progress is often invisible in the beginning. Your body, your habits, your focus, they're all adjusting to a new rhythm. This invisible growth is what prepares you for visible success later. Trust the process, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Another reason people fail in the first week is that they expect perfection. They want to see instant results and flawless execution. But perfection is a trap. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Missing a step is not failure. Giving up is. The first 7 days are not about doing everything perfectly. They are about proving to yourself that you can stay committed. Each day you complete your task, even if it's messy or imperfect, you are building resilience. It's better to do something small daily than to do something big once and quit. What separates achievers from dreamers is not talent or intelligence, but the ability to survive the first 7 days. These are the days when most people give up, when the excitement fades and effort feels heavy. But if you keep going, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to adapt. The resistance becomes weaker. The discomfort turns into normalcy, and the routine starts to feel natural. That is how transformation begins, not with inspiration, but with disciplined practice daily, especially when it's hardest. Growth starts when you push beyond your comfort zone. Most people stay stuck because they confuse comfort with happiness. They believe that feeling safe, relaxed, and familiar means they are doing well in life. But comfort is a silent trap. It makes you feel good in the moment, but keeps you from becoming who you could be. Real growth never happens in the place where you feel safe. It begins the moment you step into discomfort. Every new level of your life will demand a stronger, bolder, and more disciplined version of yourself. And that version can only be built when you are willing to face fear, failure, and uncertainty. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It is a cage with invisible walls. It keeps you where things are predictable, where you don't have to risk ejection, embarrassment, or loss. It gives you an illusion of control, but secretly takes your power away. You can't grow if you keep doing what you already know. The skills, habits, and mindset that brought you here are not enough to take you to the next level. You must challenge yourself to do things that scare you, make you uncomfortable, and stretch your limits. That's where transformation lives, not in comfort, but in courage. When you take a step beyond what feels safe, your mind will resist. It will whisper that you're not ready, that it's too risky, that you might fail. But that voice isn't your truth. It's your fear trying to protect you from growth. The brain is designed to keep you safe, not successful. It interprets anything unfamiliar as danger, even when that danger is exactly what you need. So when you feel nervous before taking a big step, understand that it's a sign you are moving in the right direction. Discomfort is the compass that points toward progress. The greater the discomfort, the greater the potential for growth. Think about how muscles grow. You lift weights, your muscles break down, and they rebuild stronger. If you don't apply pressure, they remain weak. Growth in life works the same way. You must stretch yourself until it hurts a little. That might mean working longer hours, facing rejection, learning new skills, or starting something from scratch. The pain of growth is temporary, but the reward of becoming stronger lasts forever. Each time you push your limits, you expand your capacity. You start to see that what once scared you becomes easy, and what once felt impossible becomes normal. The biggest breakthroughs in life happen when you do something that challenges your identity. Maybe it's speaking in front of people when you're afraid of public speaking, applying for a job you think you're not qualified for, or leaving behind a situation that no longer serves your purpose. Every time you take a bold step, you build a new level of confidence. You realize that fear is not a stop sign, but a test. When you face fear and move anyway, you build self-trust. That's how you grow into the person who can handle bigger responsibilities, greater pressure, and deeper challenges. Growth requires pain because comfort keeps you the same. The problem is, most people wait for the perfect moment to take risks. They want to feel ready before they act, but readiness never comes. You become ready through action. You learn by doing, not by waiting. The fear of failure holds people back, but failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every mistake teaches you something you couldn't have learned otherwise. The people who grow the most are not those who avoid mistakes, but those who learn quickly from them and move forward. Stepping beyond your comfort zone also changes your perspective. You begin to see the world differently. You stop fearing challenges and start seeking them. You stop doubting your ability and start testing it. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. The things that once intimidated you begin to excite you. That's how confidence is built. Not through avoiding fear, but by facing it repeatedly until it loses its power. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after you act, after you fail, after you realize that the world didn't end when you stepped out of line. The comfort zone also limits your dreams. When you stay where everything feels easy, your imagination starts to shrink. You stop believing in bigger possibilities because you rarely experience new ones. But once you step out, you realize the world is full of opportunities waiting for those brave enough to explore them. Growth gives you new eyes to see possibilities where others see obstacles. The moment you stretch yourself, your life expands in proportion to your courage. Growth is uncomfortable because it requires letting go of who you are to become who you could be. It demands patience, effort, and vulnerability. But every great story begins with someone who was willing to be uncomfortable. The greatest minds, leaders and innovators didn't grow by staying safe. They grew by stepping into uncertainty. When you push beyond your comfort zone, you open the door to transformation. And in that space between fear and action, you discover your true strength. Confidence is built through consistent effort, not results. Many people wait until they achieve something big before they allow themselves to feel confident. They think confidence is a reward that comes after success, but it's actually the other way around. Confidence is what leads to success, and it grows every time you take small, deliberate actions toward your goals. It's not born from perfection or talent. It's born from repetition and persistence. When you show up every day and do the work, even when you don't see immediate progress, you are building the foundation of real, unshakable confidence. Confidence is not a feeling that suddenly appears. It's a skill that must be developed. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you earn trust in your own abilities. That trust becomes inner strength. It tells you, I can handle this, I've done it before, and I can do it again. Most people think confidence means being fearless, but true confidence is doing what you need to do despite the fear. It's looking at uncertainty and still choosing to act. The more you practice showing up for yourself, the less control fear has over you. Confidence is not loud or proud. It's quiet assurance that comes from knowing you've done the work behind the scenes. The reason consistency matters more than results is because results are temporary, but habits last. Success may come and go, but the ability to stay committed is what keeps you moving forward. When you rely on results for confidence, you become fragile. If you fail or face rejection, your self-belief disappears. But if your confidence comes from consistent effort, no setback can take it away. Your worth doesn't depend on external validation. It's built internally through persistence. That's why people who keep showing up, no matter how many times they fall, always rise stronger. They trust the process because they've learned that the act of trying itself is proof of strength. Confidence doesn't come from doing things you're already good at. It comes from doing the things you're afraid of, again and again, until fear loses its grip. The first time you try something new, it feels awkward and uncomfortable. You make mistakes, you doubt yourself, and you might even feel like quitting. But every time you try again, you improve just a little. That small improvement fuels belief, and that belief fuels the courage to keep going. Over time, the same thing that once terrified you becomes natural. That's how confidence grows, not in a single leap, but in small steps, repeated with determination. It's easy to admire people who seem naturally confident, but what you don't see are the countless hours they spent practicing, failing, and learning. Behind every confident person is a long trail of effort. They didn't wake up one day believing in themselves. They built that belief through consistent action. The more you do, the more you realize that confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you create. You don't have to feel ready to start, you just have to start and readiness will follow. Each time you act despite fear, you give yourself evidence that you are capable, and that evidence becomes the foundation of lasting confidence. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for external approval. They want others to tell them they're doing great before they feel good about themselves. But real confidence is not built on compliments. It's built on self-respect. It's knowing that even when nobody notices your effort, it still matters. It's trusting that every small step forward is strengthening your character. Confidence is personal. It's between you and your own effort. When you focus on your process instead of comparison, you start realizing that growth itself is the biggest victory. Consistency also teaches humility. When you show up daily, you learn that success is not about being perfect. It's about progress. You accept that some days will be better than others, and that's okay. Confidence is not about never failing. It's about knowing failure doesn't define you. Every setback is a lesson that adds depth to your strength. The people who keep going despite failure are the ones who develop a kind of quiet power, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself because it's built from experience. Another secret to building confidence is patience. People lose belief in themselves because they expect quick results. But growth is slow and mastery takes time. You can't rush it. Every repetition, every small improvement is shaping you in ways you can't see yet. Confidence grows silently, like roots underground. One day, after months of consistent effort, you'll look back and realize you've become someone stronger, wiser, and calmer than before. That's the reward of persistence, not the applause, but the transformation that happens within you. Confidence is earned in the quiet moments when you keep showing up. It's earned when you push through doubt, when you face failure with courage, when you keep moving even when no one believes in you. The more you practice effort without depending on results, the more you strengthen the belief that you can handle anything that comes your way. And that belief, built one consistent day at a time, becomes the foundation for everything else you achieve in life. Focus on changing 3 key areas: body, mind, and dreams. These 3 are connected, and together they define the direction of your life. When one of them is weak, everything else suffers. A strong body gives you energy, a strong mind gives you clarity, and a strong dream gives you purpose. Many people try to change their lives by working on only one area, but true transformation happens when all 3 are aligned. When your physical habits, your mental patterns, and your goals move in the same direction, you create unstoppable momentum that carries you forward no matter what obstacles appear. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through every challenge. Without energy, you can't think clearly, and without discipline in how you treat your body, you can't sustain long-term effort. Taking care of your body is not about perfection or appearance. It's about energy, strength, and resilience. Small habits make a big difference. Waking up early, drinking water, eating clean, moving your body every day. These are simple things, but they build a foundation of power. When your body feels strong, your confidence rises. You start each day with vitality instead of fatigue. You handle stress better, think faster, and work longer with focus. Physical strength feeds mental strength because your state of body affects your state of mind. The way you move, breathe, and rest determines the quality of your performance in everything else you do. But even a strong body is limited without a strong mind. The mind is where your thoughts shape your world. What you feed your mind every day becomes the reality you experience. If you fill it with doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll see obstacles everywhere. But if you feed it with focus, learning, and gratitude, you'll see possibilities where others see limits. A strong mind is not one that avoids challenges, but one that stays calm and adaptable in the face of them. It's trained through reading, reflection, and consistent practice. You must learn to control your attention because your attention controls your life. Meditation, journaling, and self-discipline are tools that sharpen your awareness. When your mind is focused, distractions lose their power. When your thoughts are positive, your actions become bold. The mind is like a garden. It grows whatever you plant in it. If you plant seeds of confidence and possibility, you create a mindset that attracts growth. Every day, you have to weed out the thoughts that don't serve you. Just like a gardener removes weeds before they spread. Protect your mental space from negativity, gossip, and comparison. Replace them with ideas that challenge and inspire you. Read books that elevate your perspective, listen to people who push you forward, and spend time alone to understand your own thoughts. A strong mind doesn't depend on outside approval. It finds direction from within. Once you master your inner world, no external situation can defeat you for long. Then there is the dream, the vision that gives your effort meaning. Without a dream, even a strong body and sharp mind lose direction. Your dream gives purpose to your struggle. It tells you why you wake up early, why you work hard, and why you keep going when it's difficult. A dream is not just a wish, it's a commitment to something bigger than comfort. It's the reason you sacrifice, the reason you stay disciplined, and the reason you refuse to give up. But a dream must be clear and specific. You can't chase everything at once. You have to decide what truly matters to you and pour your energy into it. A clear dream guides your actions like a compass. It helps you make decisions faster because you already know where you want to go. When you align your body, mind, and dream, your life gains balance. These sheets. The body provides energy, the mind provides direction, and the dream provides motivation. Together, they create harmony that pushes you towards success naturally. But this balance requires constant care. You can't strengthen your mind and ignore your body. You can't chase dreams while neglecting your mental health. Everything must grow together. When you exercise your body, you train your discipline. When you train your mind, you refine your focus. When you work on your dream, you practice persistence. Each part supports the others. Discipline connects them all. The body needs consistent effort, the mind needs daily nourishment, and the dream needs constant action. You can't improve them all overnight, but you can start small. Wake up earlier than usual. Spend 10 minutes reading something inspiring. Write down your goals every morning. These little practices compound over time. You begin to notice how your energy improves, how your focus sharpens, how your purpose feels clearer. Transformation is not dramatic. It's built in quiet, repeated moments of consistency. The people who achieve extraordinary success aren't always the most talented or the most intelligent. They're the ones who build balance across these three areas. They work on their bodies when others rest. They feed their minds when others waste time. And they chase their dreams when others doubt. This combination creates a kind of power that can't be faked. When your energy, clarity, and purpose move together, you become unstoppable because you're no longer fighting yourself. Every part of you is moving in harmony toward the same vision. Discipline and persistence matter more than motivation or talent. Motivation is like a spark. It feels powerful for a moment, but it fades quickly when things get hard. Talent may give you a small advantage at the start, but without discipline, it burns out. Discipline is what keeps you going when the excitement is gone, when the path feels long, and when nobody is watching. It's the ability to act on your goals, not your feelings. It means doing what must be done even when you don't feel like doing it. People often wait for the right mood or the right inspiration before they start working, but those who rely on emotion never last long. The ones who truly succeed are those who master consistency. They show up every single day, not because they feel inspired, but because they made a commitment to themselves that they refuse to break. Persistence is the twin of discipline. Where discipline helps you start, persistence helps you continue. Life will test you with failure, rejection, and doubt. You will face days where everything seems to fall apart. That's when persistence becomes your greatest weapon. Every successful person has stories of rejection and struggle that could have broken them. The difference is they didn't quit. They learned, adjusted, and tried again. Persistence is not stubbornness. It's faith in action. It's believing that your effort will eventually pay off even when there's no sign of progress. It's understanding that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Motivation depends on how you feel. Discipline depends on who you decide to be. There will be days when you wake up tired, uninspired, or full of doubt. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what your purpose is. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. The simple act of showing up builds strength every time you push through resistance. See, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. That small victory builds momentum, and momentum creates change. People who depend on motivation stop when the energy fades. People who depend on discipline keep going until the job is done. Talent is overrated because it only matters at the beginning. Discipline is what transforms potential into mastery. You can be naturally gifted, but without daily effort, that gift fades. Meanwhile, someone with less talent but more persistence will surpass you over time. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent. Discipline turns ordinary people into experts. Every great athlete, artist, or leader wasn't born with greatness. They built it through disciplined repetition, through practice when they were tired, and through persistence when others quit. The danger of relying on motivation is that it's unpredictable. Some days it's strong, other days it's gone. Waiting for motivation to act is like waiting for the weather to be perfect before you leave the house. If you let your emotions decide your effort, you'll never be consistent. Discipline is the structure that protects your goals from your moods. It's the invisible force that tells you to work even when no one is watching. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. The habit of doing small things daily, regardless of feeling, creates results that motivation alone could never achieve. Persistence teaches you patience. Success takes longer than most people expect. You might work for weeks or months without seeing results. Many people give up too early because they mistake slow progress for failure. But growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes you're building foundations that you can't see yet. The people who persist long enough eventually break through because they didn't stop when it was hard. They understood that every effort counts. Even when the reward is invisible, persistence means understanding that failure is not the end, but part of the process. Every setback builds resilience, and resilience builds character. Discipline also teaches self-respect. Every time you follow through on your promises, you strengthen your trust in yourself. That trust becomes confidence. When you can depend on yourself to act no matter what, you stop seeking motivation from outside sources. You become your own source of power. It doesn't matter how you feel because your actions no longer depend on your emotions. That's when real strength begins, when your habits lead your emotions instead of your emotions leading your habits. Discipline creates freedom because it removes the chaos of indecision. You no longer waste time debating whether to act. You simply act because that's who you are. Persistence gives meaning to failure. It turns every obstacle into a lesson. When things don't go your way, persistence helps you see beyond the immediate pain. It reminds you that no effort is wasted if you learn something from it. The people who persist long enough eventually find that the obstacles they faced were the very things that prepared them for success. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door becomes part of the story that shapes their strength. Persistence is not about never falling. It's about always getting up one more time than you fall. Discipline and persistence are not exciting words, but they are the foundation of every achievement. They don't rely on luck or talent. They rely on consistency, patience, and belief. If you can be disciplined in your daily actions and persistent in your long-term vision, you can achieve more than you imagine. Motivation fades, talent ages, but discipline and persistence last forever.